What's good and new, everyone? It's Seth. In the last 3 years, I went from broke, sleeping on a basement floor, to generating over $1 million in online business revenue. And if you want to learn how to 2x, 5x, 10x your prices without feeling guilty, because it's a mental game that allows people to up their prices, not no secret offer or anything like that. This video is for you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to utilize something I call the pricing matrix and how to increase your worthiness so that you can charge more. You can charge what you are worth. Like I said before, this is a mental game. So let's get into it. I just got this new iPad and I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. My writing is terrible. Okay, my mind moves fast in my hands, but it is what it is. So if you're in the online business space, you're probably familiar with a man named Alex Hormozi. Okay, and Hormozi has something called the value equation. And what the value equation is dream outcome times likelihood of achievement divided by time and effort. Okay. Now, if you've been around the space for a little bit, or even if you haven't, I'll explain to you what this means. This is basically how to come up with a great offer, a valuable offer. Okay. If you can get somebody a dream outcome, it's very likely that they'll achieve it. It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of effort. You can have a great offer that gets people to buy and you can charge decently for it. But this doesn't really explain how to come up with a price or pricing for your offer. It doesn't deal with the mental element that you deal with when you should be charging 20K for things and you're charging 2. So this is very fantastic for coming up with offers. And Hormozi is obviously one of the GOATs out here. But I look at things a little different. I deal with something called pricing matrix. Okay. Now, pricing matrix is divided into 3 things. You have value, you got time, and you got risk. Risk is something people don't really talk about a lot, all right? So value has 4 categories. We have emotion, we have ROI, we have what's important to the client, and we have what's important to you. Okay, so let's talk about value. I'm going to break these down for you because they're very important, because people are always misinterpreting what value means. They're like, I'm providing value, I'm giving away free stuff, value, I'm showing people how to do stuff, when they don't really understand what value at its core is. Value is simply emotion. Okay? How does somebody feel? How does the client feel when they get their result? And what pain are they in? So, for example, I'll give you a personal example. 3 years ago, I used to be incredibly skinny. I was underweight. I was sick. I had a lot of digestive problems, a lot of stomach problems. I looked in the mirror at myself. I was not happy with myself, right? Look, I always think I've been good looking, but I could be better looking. I could be, take my health more seriously, become more magnetic. You know what I mean? But I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. And in the last 3 years, I have put on 40 pounds. I'm way more fit. I don't have digestive issues. My skin is cleared up. My life is just better. I have more confidence, more magnetism, more ability to step in a room and be who I am and be that guy in order to make money, because I transformed, right? And it cost me $3,000 to do that. I paid a coach who dialed in my diet, who helped me with fitness and exercise, and I got the results I wanted. That cost me $3,000. But really, it's made me over $1 million. I have way more business and networking opportunities because I'm more fit and can give off a better level of confidence within myself. So how does that feel? What is that worth? Because it is the emotion that is the most important thing when it comes to value. All right. I paid $3,000 to make over $1 million. And I equated to that because of the way I feel about myself. It has made me over $1 million. Okay. So emotion is super, super important. The pain I was in was that when I looked in the mirror, I did not like what I saw. And I had problems with that and confidence problems and self-esteem problems with that. Nobody would have known, but I was in pain. And you pay money to solve that pain. Emotion is really where the value is at. Now, you got return on investment, ROI. Everyone understands ROI. Okay. You spend $10 and you get them 100. Everyone understands ROI, and people try to use ROI a lot to sell, but they don't understand that emotion is really what sells, not the ROI. So for instance, I was on a webinar the other day with Dan Henry, who is a fantastic entrepreneur, right? He's been in this space a minute and he's very good at online business. And on the webinar, he asked somebody, he said, what's your favorite car? Guy goes like Porsche 911 or whatever. $200,000 car or something like that. And he goes, okay, what would you do if I told you I could get you a brand new Porsche 911 for $20,000? Would you take that deal? What would you do to get that money? Right? He's like, oh, I'd go into debt and I'd take a loan or whatever, right? Because the ROI he's getting for the money he spent, the return on investment he's getting for the money he spent is massive. It's huge. It's like 10x, right? So that's what a lot of people used to sell because it appeals to the logical brain. But really, he wants that car because of emotion. Once again, when he gets in that car, he's going to feel good about himself. Girls are going to look at him. He's going to be able to flex. He's going to be able to stun and post it on Instagram or whatever. He's going to feel better. Okay? That's really what that is dealing with. But ROI is significant to help people buy and to increase your prices, because if you get people a tangible return on investment, something they can actually see, something they can actually measure, it makes your offer more valuable. So if you are dealing with somebody who's 180 pounds and they want to get to 160 pounds and you have an offer that guarantees that they will lose 20 pounds, your offer becomes more valuable because it has a tangible ROI. So people that coach like mindset, it's very hard for them to have a tangible ROI, because they're not giving people something that's measurable. So if you teach mindset, you need a way to measure things with people. Do they have more conversations with people? Have they finally started going to the gym? Whatever it is, you need something measurable because it will increase the value of your offer. Anyways, ROI is basically self-explanatory. Then we have what's important to the client. This is your client's internal values. Okay? And these are very important. You need to know what your client values internally, what's important to them. So let's say it's their children, their wife, and their free time. If you can cater your offer to aligning with their values, they will pay more for it. Let's say you have a fitness offer. You let them know that you will be able to run around with your kids and your grandkids if you are fit. Your wife will be more attracted to you. You will live a better life based upon the things that you care about. Your kids won't have to bury you early. These are all aligned with this person's values. And when it's aligned with their values, you can charge more. But you also have to consider what's important to you. These are your internal values. Okay? Because if your internal values are completely out of whack and completely opposite to what your client's values are, it's not going to work. One, if you do take money from them, you're going to feel guilty. And guilt repels money. We're going to talk about guilt in a bit. Stay tuned. Guilt repels money. If you take money from people who are not aligned at all with you, it's going to be problematic for you and it's going to be problematic for them. Because what's going to happen? Let's say you deal with a client who, you're Asian, for instance, and you deal with a client who is racist towards Asian people. How well is that going to work out? Completely misaligned. If you take their money, it's bad for them and it's bad for you. So don't do it. If you are more aligned in values, you're going to provide better service and you're going to help them out more. So that is value. All right. That's what you got to understand about value. Then we have time. Time boils down to speed. Okay. Client's time. Your time. And want. Which people don't understand, but I'm going to let y'all know. So let's talk about time. Okay. Let's talk about time. Time. Now, speed equals money. Speed will get you paid. The faster you can do something, the more you can charge. This is why liposuction is 20 to 50 grand and the gym is $20 a month, because the gym takes too long. Liposuction happens instantaneously. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be aware of that. How quickly can you get a result for somebody? That allows you to jump up the price a lot. Rich people love speed. Rich people will pay for speed. You get it done in a day, you can charge more money than if you get it done in a month. Okay? So, speed equals money. Then your client's time. Now, this doesn't have to do with speed. It has to do with your client's time. And let me explain this to you. Basically, how much time does your client need to use to get the result? Their own time. All right. So let's say you have a fitness offer. Once again, because fitness is easy to talk about. Let's say you're going to help them lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Which offer do you think is more valuable? The offer that the client has to spend 2 hours a day exercising in order to lose the weight, or the client who gets to spend half an hour working out per day? Which one is more valuable? It uses less of the client's time. The half an hour version is obviously more valuable. So less client time is more money, right? And that's similar to Hormozi's, right? In terms of building an offer. But what about your time? Okay. You do not want to be selling your time. Okay. You do not want to be thinking about exchanging time for money. You want to exchange money for value. That's what you want to exchange your money for. The emotions that you provide people. Okay. The ROI and dialing into their values and your values. That's what you want to charge for. You don't really want to get in the habit of charging for your time, because it will limit the amount of money you can make. If you are going to charge for your time, charge a lot. Okay? Charge a lot for your time. It's very important. Okay? Because if you work 8 hours a day and make a certain amount of money, it doesn't matter how much that money is. It will cap your earning potential. And we have been taught in society to exchange time for money. You don't have to exchange time for money. I've made more money than I ever have in my life, and I've used way less time to do it. I work 4 hours a day, okay? And I shoot these YouTube videos in my spare time because I like to do them. So the more of your time you use, the more you charge. More of your time, more money. Okay? Because it's your time and you got to do the work. Finally, want. How much do you want to do this? Okay? I'll give you an example. Myron Golden was speaking one time, and somebody wanted to do some sort of coaching package with him or something, and he really didn't want to do it. And he told them $50K, thinking that it would turn them away and that they wouldn't take the offer. But they took the offer. But he made the price so high at the time for him that it was worth it to him. Even though he didn't really want to do it, the money made it worth it. Then he was like, man, I charge too little. I had to charge 100K next time. So somebody else asked him to do some sort of coaching offer thing that he didn't want to do, and he said 100 grand, and they paid it. So once again, that made it worth it for him. Now, if you know my story and have been on my channel enough, you understand that I first made my money online as an OnlyFans talent manager. Okay, I managed models in the OnlyFans business. If you have a problem with that, you can leave. But if you'd like to learn some more, you can stay. Still here? Good. All right. So in that business, right, I no longer want to teach that stuff. Okay. I had a group and everything, and people paid money to get in. I got everybody over $10,000 a month. That was the baseline. Everybody made over $10,000 a month in that group, but I no longer want to teach it. It's closed. Okay. Because my values are no longer aligned with it. And we're going to talk more about that as we go along. But my values are no longer aligned with it. So if somebody wants to learn the OF game from me, I'm going to charge them a lot of money. It's going to be minimum 5 figures. Okay. You're looking at 15 to 20K. And it's going to use far less of my time. And it's going to put more of the risk on the other person because I don't want to do it. Do you understand? As opposed to the next realm, I actually want to do that. It's more aligned with my values. All right. And I took everything I learned from the OF game and used it to teach coaches, consultants, service-based businesses how to make more money. Because online business in particular is pretty much all the same. The only things that change are the customer and the product. The principles are the same. So I took the principles that I learned from the OF game and taught people how to make money. We got people doing 1K sales, 2K sales, 5K sales, 11K months. Even if they have a job, we have a kid who got a $10,000 promotion. We have another guy who doubled his income at his job. Another guy who's getting remote work with his company. All from principles I learned from that business. Isn't that interesting? So I actually want to do the next realm to build that business. So the first people I let into the next realm, I wanted to do it so badly, I let them in for free. And I got them results. Their ROI, okay, is like 50x. Their ROI is like 50x, okay? Sorry, 50,000x, right? Massive ROI because I let them in free because I really wanted to do it. And when you really want to do something, you make it easier for people to work with you. So that doesn't mean you charge too little. We're going to get to charging like properly based upon your worthiness and your worth. But if it is in alignment with you, you're going to be far more happy to take people on and you're going to charge appropriately. If you don't want to do it, charge a grip. Charge a ton of money, please. If you don't want to do it, charge a ton of money. If somebody told me, yo, do 500 push-ups right now and you'll get 50K, I'd do the 500 push-ups even though I don't want to freaking do it. Now, this doesn't always work. Not everybody can be bought. How do you not be bought? Your values. Okay? I value certain things over money, so there are things that people cannot pay me enough to do. Simple. That is time on our pricing matrix. Then we're talking about risk. Most people don't understand this enough. So you have client risk. You got client risk. You got your risk. You have social risk and legal risk. Social risk is something a lot of people don't understand. And I have a deep understanding of this. So we're going to get into that so you can understand these things. So you can price things up properly. All right, let me just give us some space over here. Get it popping. So risk, super important. God damn, I really can't write. Risk. Okay. You have client risk. So the higher the client risk, the less you charge. Okay. So for instance, if you have a course and it's only the course, you just do the course, right? They don't have any access to you. They don't have any access to a group. You don't really have to spend any of your time dealing with anything. You just have the course. Okay. You charge less money for that because all the risk is on the client to do the work in the course and get the result. If they don't get the result, it's not really on you. It's on them because they have to do the work. The risk is entirely on them if you're just selling a course. So it should be cheaper than if you were to sell a group or things where people have access to you, that type of stuff. Now, that doesn't mean you sell a course for $200, even though you could. There's some people that sell a course for 5K, but that's because they have more worthiness, which we'll get to. Okay. Client risk, your risk. The higher your risk, the more you charge. My writing is crazy. It's all good. So there's a business creator named Serge Guattari. He lives in Canada, Montreal. Okay. Shout out to the Canadians like myself. And he makes $400,000 a month, like $500,000 a month. You know why? Because he does something called build and release offers. Okay. Where basically he is building a section of business for a company, if not the whole business. He can come up with marketing channels, outbound leads, inbound leads, appointment setting, sales people, retention strategies, all of these things, essentially building the business. So he has to do all the work and take on all the risk. That's why he charges a lot, right? It's on him to get the results. That's why he makes so much money, because he's doing so much and taking on a level of risk of like people trusting him to build the business. Essentially, of course, he makes over $500,000 a month. He should. So the higher your risk, the more you charge. Now, this is something people don't understand. Social risk. This is mega important. All right. People who take on more social risk make more money. And I have a deep understanding of this. Whoa. I have a deep understanding of this. Why? Because I come from the OF management business. A model in the OF business has tremendous social risk. Okay? Tremendous social risk. What does this mean? She has the potential of her parents disowning her friends disowning her, society judging her, content being leaked, reputational damage, all these sorts of social risks. That's why certain models can charge $500 for 2 minutes of video, because their social risk is incredibly high. So it makes it worth more. Okay? I'm going to increase the size of this brush because this just be looking too small right now. But social risk makes more money. You understand? Now, social risk is a reason why a lot of people don't make money and a lot of people don't price things properly. Social risk doesn't mean you have to take off your clothes and get judged and ostracized or whatever by society. Social risk can be as simple as you being afraid to start a business because your parents are going to disapprove of it or judge you, or friends, or if you express how you actually feel in the world, people are going to judge you for it. This is social risk, and it prevents people from making money. The reason you charge so little or you don't get paid at all is because you're afraid of the social repercussions. But let me tell you something. All right. I used to be afraid to talk about the fact that I was in the OF business as a manager. Okay. But this is part of my story and people relate to it or they're repelled by it. But it's good. Whoever's repelled by it, I wasn't going to work with them anyways. Do you think I already told you if people are misaligned with your values, then you're not going to get paid? You're not going to deal with those sorts of people. So it's better that you actually express who you are so you can get paid properly. It's better that you take the risk, the social risk of being judged to be an entrepreneur, of being judged to go after what you actually want in life than to sit there and let other people dictate what happens to you, because it will prevent you from getting paid. Okay? If I give you an example, somebody like Donald Trump, half the country hates him, half the country loves him, and that's why he became president. Because of that level of social risk, that level of social risk he was willing to take on. Not everyone's going to like you, okay? Not everyone's going to like your pricing, and that's fine. Let them be and do what you're meant to do with your life, okay? So that's social risk. Then we have legal risk. All right, and all I'm going to say about this is do not go to jail. Don't do any legal risk stuff, okay? And let me inform you of why legal risk is so powerful, all right? Legal risk is powerful because it involves all these levels of risk, all of those levels of risk, okay? You have high client risk. People can betray you. Clients can snitch on you if you're a dealer or you're committing fraud or whatever the hell you're doing, right? You have high client risk, okay? The people involved with you also, they have high risk. They're doing something illegal. Your risk is absolutely crazy. You could lose your life or go to jail. What higher risk is that? Your social risk is immense. Criminal, judgment, pariah, taboo, all of these things people are going to say about you and all this crap. And it's illegal, so you'll go to jail. That's why people who do things that aren't legal make so much money, because it wraps up all of these risks. But don't do it. It's not worth it. All right? And let me inform you of something when it comes to this pricing matrix. So you can see it's, whoa, we need black over here. All right, this pricing matrix is 12 elements. Okay, and another reason why I must charge tons of money to teach anybody OF, and I don't want to teach them, so don't ask me, right? Social risk of whatever the heck will happen, right? There's social risk on my part. And legal risk. Why is there legal risk? Because there are idiots who think that there's some big P out here and they deal with models the wrong way. They create terrible contracts. They lie and carry out fraud with the models they work with. And then when they get caught, what's going to happen? They're going to come to me and say, "Oh, Seth taught me how to run the game. I didn't teach you how to do nothing illegal. You just your problematic values, right, made that shit happen." So that's another reason why I charge a bunch of money to teach anybody to do with OF, and why I won't do it. Okay? That's why I won't do it. The next realm is way more important to me. That's what I don't know why I changed that to an E. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm not doing that business, right? So those are your risk profiles. Now, what you want to do with these things, with your matrix, okay? Let me just make this a little darker so you know that's the top. What you want to do is increase the level of emotion that the client has, because then you can charge more money. You want to increase the ROI they're going to get. You want to really align with what's important to the client. And if your values align with theirs, or at least close enough, you make more money. You want to speed up the process, make it faster. You want less of the client's time. That'll make you more money. Your time, you want less of your time. But if you do have more, you'll make more money. And you want a high level of want. If you have a low level of want, you charge more. If you have a high level of want, you can still charge well, but you're going to feel better about it. Client risk. Reduce your client risk. You can charge more money. If you take on more risk, you'll make more money. Okay, but be careful about the risks you take on. Social risk, reduce your client's social risk, can make more money. But also, if your social risk is high, you can charge more. And illegal, don't do this shit. Okay, legal risk, don't fucking do it. All right. Now, we need to talk about one of the biggest oppressors to making money. All right, which is this word that starts with a G and prevents people from charging what the hell they're supposed to charge. This word is guilt. Guilt will prevent you from getting money. Now, I'm going to give you an example. When I ran a group full of people who were making money in the OF business, there were people I taught who made way more money than me. There was a kid I taught who makes $250,000 a month. Okay, I never made that sort of money monthly off of the business. You know why? Because I felt guilty about parts of the business. All right, guilt will cap your earning potential. Why did I feel guilty about certain aspects of the business? Because they weren't aligned with my values, what was really important to me. It wasn't fully aligned, but it was aligned enough for me to make a good amount of money, but not aligned enough for me to make $250,000 a month. Okay? There were some people, they just simply didn't care about the predicament of the subscribers or the predicament of the model, what they did, what they didn't do, what they got paid. They didn't care, right? So due to that, they made more money. Now, there are people that's an extreme example, but I'm showing you one far spectrum so you understand. Now, here's a lesser example, but a very common example. There are people who have guilt around money. Jesus Christ, man. Mans can't even spell. Guilt about money. Okay? And this is often with religious people, people who grew up religious. They were told money's bad and that money isn't everything and that you shouldn't want money and all this type of stuff. These beliefs do not serve you if you want to get money. You need to like money. You need to like getting money. You need to understand that you do need money in this world and that money is important and that God wants you to have money. God doesn't want you to be destitute and not abundant. He didn't bring you here to not have a fantastic life. Okay? God wants you to get paid. It's that simple. There are some people, they can't even say, I like money. Okay? Or that I like getting paid or I want money. Say it. There's literally people right now, they won't say it. Say it. I like money. Good. All right. Good. That's where it begins. So you have guilt over money. You need to crush these beliefs. And this is something that we help people do in the next realm because you need to shift your beliefs. If you believe money is evil and money is bad, you won't get it. You will never accumulate a vast amount of something that you think is wrong or that you think is evil. So there were elements of the OF business that I did not like, and it capped my earning potential. Okay? But with the next realm, my earning potential will not be capped because it's 100% in alignment with me. Okay? So guilt repels money. You will not charge people the right amount of money if you're guilty. You won't do it. So you have to fight that. All right? You have to break those beliefs. And another thing regarding guilt is that, how do I say this? Guilt repels money, but also it's not about right or wrong. Okay? It's not about right or wrong. It's about emotion. Once again, back to the value side. All right? It's about emotion. Elon Musk, for instance, owner of Tesla, right? Tesla has to dig up a bunch of cobalt in Africa and kids are dying and getting paid less than $1 a day to dig up cobalt so that you can have a Tesla, right? Now, it's not about right or wrong. Elon just has less emotion towards that situation. Other people hear that and they're more emotionally triggered by that situation. It's not Elon's fault that he feels less emotion about that. It's not his fault. It's about emotion. Okay, he feels less guilty about it, so it's done. But let me tell you something. You feel less guilty about it too, because you have a cell phone and you have a computer and cobalt built is in all of that stuff and you're using it. So you're not as guilty about it as you think. Otherwise, you wouldn't even use it. Do you understand? So it's not about right and wrong. It's about emotion. And certain people have emotions that allow them to not feel guilty about certain things. And certain people have emotions that make them feel guilty about certain things. But it does not serve you to feel guilty about money. That's what you got to get rid of. Feeling guilty about money. All right? But it's not about right or wrong. That's too subjective. Okay? It's too subjective. Whatever's not in line with your values will not pay you, and it won't pay you enough. Now, finally, what we're going to talk about, after guilt, after we've cleared all the guilt, clear all that, erase that, right? We don't want that in our lives. Cut the guilt. We need to talk about worthiness. Okay? And this is all live. This is all live, guys. If you're still here, you're the greatest, and you're going to make a lot of money because you're still here. You have the attention span to fucking do this shit. So, worthiness. Your worthiness boils down to your beliefs, your values, your social circle, your language, and your habits, I believe. Yep, your habits. And that all accumulates into worth. Okay? These things are all attached. I already talked about belief. If you believe money is bad, you're not going to get money. So you better start saying that you like money and that money is good. Shift that belief. You don't need it anymore. Okay? Values. If you value money, you will get money. If what you do to get money is aligned with your values, you're going to feel more worthy of getting it. All right? Also, when you accomplish things related to your values, it's going to increase your self-worth. And you will know that you're on the right path. So when I got the first sales for the next realm and got people results and people were making $10,000 a month, I was like, I am on the right path. It increased my self-worthiness, right? Your social circle. This might be the most important thing that you need to do to make money. Because we as humans are incredibly influenced by osmosis. If you live in a village and everybody is a fisherman, everybody learns how to hunt fish, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to learn how to hunt fish. Okay? So if you're around a bunch of people who are making money and value getting money and are determined to get money, what do you think is going to happen to you? You're going to start getting some money too. And this is how it worked for me. Because I was broke before, right? Broke, sleeping on a basement floor, broke, debt, all this crap. I borrowed money from a friend to join masterminds because I knew that I had to get around people that had some freaking money. And by osmosis, I learned, and by osmosis, I got opportunities because there's around people with money. Let me show you something. Let me show you something because this is very important. Let me show you what osmosis does to people. There can literally be two people who live in very similar neighborhoods, okay? Let's say they're the same neighborhood. This guy here, this guy here. Okay? Let's say these neighborhoods are bad neighborhoods, okay? And the poverty rate is high and the likelihood of people staying in poverty is high. But this guy over here manages to interact with somebody with money more often than this person does. This guy over here has a 30% more likely chance of making money, more money than the guy over here. 30%. Okay? So osmosis is super powerful. Your social circle is that's what changed everything for me. I have money because I hang out with people who have money. Okay? It's another reason why I built the next realm, because everyone in the next realm is getting after it. It's getting money. That's what we're there for. I mean to build a $10 million network full of entrepreneurs who are 6 and 7 figure earners. And shoot, the more 7-figure earners get in there, because everyone's going to make 6 and 7 figures, it's going to be $100 million network. You know what I mean? That's the goal. That's the game plan. It's the social circle. It's the mastermind effect. Okay? Language. G's and P's, the way people mess this up. They speak so badly of themselves. They speak so negatively, one, about money, and then they speak negatively about themselves. They say things like they're not lucky. They say things like money's bad, or they say things like, if God wanted me to have money, then I'd have it. Whoo! Yo, that's one of the craziest things you could ever say, because I don't say that stuff. I say God wants me to have money. We have different beliefs. You understand? Language is super important because language influences your beliefs. Okay? Language is connected to what you believe. So if you start speaking things out of your mouth continuously, that is what you're going to believe. And your language is going to affect your social circle as well. If you're hanging out with people that get money, right? And then you just all of a sudden start talking about broke people things and just being broke all the time and having a negative mindset around money, they're going to leave. And you're not going to be in that social circle anymore, literally because of your language. So you got to look over that. That has a lot to do with your worth. You have to speak positively of yourself if you want to charge people money, okay? And your habits. Do you adopt the habits of rich people? Do you look after your money? Do you invest? Do you track your money? Do you read? Do you educate yourself? Do you learn about money? Do you run a business? What do you do? Do you exercise? A lot of rich people exercise. Do you network? Are you in masterminds? What are your habits? What are you doing? You have the habit of coming home from work and sitting on the couch and drinking a beer, and then you wonder why you can't make any money. Your habits are not in alignment, and then that crushes your worthiness. If your habits are more in alignment with rich people, you're like, I'm on the way to riches. I'm on the way to pay. I'm on the way to get more money. And what do rich people do? They charge well. All of that accumulates into your worth. All of that accumulates into your worth. But there's one major factor that influences people's worth. Okay? I'm going to erase this because this is very important. Okay? One major factor that affects people's worth is trauma. All right? People have been through things in life and they have not gotten over them. They have not gotten through them. And those traumas have made them unable to get money and feel unworthy of getting money. And another thing we do is help people alchemize their traumas. Okay, transform something negative into something positive. Let me tell you something. I have been through all sorts of hell in my life. Okay, at 4 years old, I almost died in the hospital alone, quarantined away from all the other kids while they were playing, having fun. I was alone, silent, getting needles, and almost died. All right. I have almost been killed by one of my clients who was high on mushrooms. I had to warm up by the stove in the wintertime because there was a time my mom couldn't pay the gas bill, so we didn't have heat. I slept on a basement floor, broke. I've been through all sorts of crap. That's not even the half of it, but I'm thankful for every single bit of it because every single bit of my traumatic experiences made me a success. Because you have to understand, everything happens for you and not to you. And when you understand that, you are going to be able to alchemize your traumas, and they're not going to prevent you from making money. They're going to help you make money. You understand what I'm saying? That's how it works. So we have a process for doing that as well. But that is that about charging more. So you have your pricing matrix and you have your concept of worthiness. And let me tell you how this works, because this works in practice. We have a member in the next realm. They have incredible accolades. Like, they have done coaching for Nike, Microsoft, big companies, C-level executives, and all this type of stuff. And they were charging like $200 for their program with access and calls and all this stuff. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And we put them through understanding this pricing matrix, right? And worthiness. And then boom, 1K sales, 2.5K sales, 5K sales, right? Memberships, all of this type of stuff, all because they bettered these elements of the pricing matrix. They bettered those elements and they had more worth. And now they're charging what they're worth That's how you charge more. You want to charge 2x, 5x, 10x. You need to understand these things. You need to get more worthy because you are worthy of it. You weren't born here to be broke and destitute. You were born here to be abundant. And that's it. Hope that was helpful. I'll see you next week. Peace.